part of your presidency?
This morning you said you would bomb the S out of Oman if they got in the way of reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Would you say you're out of patience with Oman, a strategic
No, I don't think they behave very well, but we'd handle them very easily, just like we do others.
Expiration of the Memorandum of Understanding, are you any closer today to reaching a final deal to end Iran's nuclear program?
Well, they want to make a deal, but they're not going to make the kind of a deal that I feel is necessary. Look, we're in there for one reason. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. You understand that? Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon. And right now, them building one after what we did previously with the B-2 bombers, going to be a long time behalf. But Iran cannot have. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon.
Is there enough food on the USS Lincoln?
Yeah, it is. That was a CNN fake report. The Lincoln has been out there for a period of time, good period of time. But over the years, we've had them out there much longer. I was at a group meeting, and an admiral came up to see me over the weekend. And it was at a big group, and he happened to be an admiral retired. He said, I've been on ships that are out there much longer than that, sir. And I know people on the Lincoln, they say it's beautifully maintained and beautifully taken care of. And other people went out and they found out to be true. It was fake news reporting from CNN.
The British Prime Minister recently reportedly sent text to someone impersonating Susie Wiles. Are you concerned about his judgment or the state of communications between the two countries?
No, but who happened? What happened? They sent text?
Apparently the Prime Minister sent text to somebody impersonating Susie Wiles.
No, I'm sure that he had a miscommunication.
Last week you said that you soon declared the Strait of Hormuz to be a territory of the United States. Could you elaborate?
Well, I just think it's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, we control it. We control it with the blockade. We have a blockade. We control it with the blockade. And I like the idea of declaring it a territory.
Why might you do that?
We have total control over the strait. Now, they can be a nuisance. They can put a mine in the water, and people don't like having mines hit their billion-dollar ships, etc. But the blockade has been very effective. And, we're taking out, now maybe that will stop, or maybe it'll open up even further, but we're taking out millions of barrels of oil a week. If you look at the kind of numbers that we're doing, the strait is open, and the oil prices are coming down, and they will continue to come down unless we decide to do something far more drastic than we're doing. Iran is in big trouble. They have 300% inflation. The country's a mess, and the military is totally defeated. Thank you very much.
CENTCOM commander called his USS Lincoln visit on August 16th inspiring, amid concerns over the carrier's crew. Admiral Brad Cooper said the carrier's crew had shown resilience while enduring prolonged deployment and demanding operational conditions. Cooper said the Lincoln had faced tough conditions while supporting U.S. military operations against Iran in the region. The commander said Lincoln reported the lowest mental health case numbers among the 11 active U.S. Navy aircraft carriers. Cooper praised the carrier's leadership for prioritizing crew mental health, resilience, and the overall well-being of sailors. Admiral Brad Cooper said, and I quote, "My time aboard USS Abraham Lincoln yesterday was awe-inspiring. I wish every American could see the crew in action. You would beam with absolute pride when witnessing their camaraderie, teamwork, and resilience. Here's an important fact. Of the U.S. Navy's 11 active aircraft carriers, the Lincoln currently has among the lowest number of cases related to mental health. This doesn't mean that all is perfect. Find any of the nearly 4 million Navy veterans in America today, and they will likely tell you that service at sea for long periods isn't for everyone. It is uniquely challenging and tough, and every single one of us, including me, reacts to stressors in different ways. I've long believed that mental health is another aspect of individual health and requires our attention just like physical health and spiritual health. I applaud Lincoln's leadership, the senior enlisted leaders in the Chief Petty Officers Mess in particular, for stepping up and making mental health and crew resilience a leadership priority. To all our sailors and Marines aboard the ship, keep up the great work and fair winds and following seas on the journey home." Unquote. The San Diego-based carrier was deployed in November and reached the Middle East in January as regional tensions escalated. The Lincoln has since flown thousands of missions supporting Operation Epic Fury and wider U.S. regional security operations. The carrier also supported the U.S. naval blockade of Iran in the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz during the deployment. USS Lincoln came under scrutiny after reports raised concerns about deteriorating conditions and growing dissatisfaction among its crew. The U.S. Navy is studying major Ford-class design changes that could align future aircraft carriers more closely with Trump's stated aesthetic preferences. 7 current and former U.S. officials described the review to the Washington Post, saying the Navy is assessing substantial changes to its newest carrier design. The Navy is reviewing whether to move the Ford-class island forward on future carriers, shifting the command structure nearer to the ship's central section. The multi-level island houses the ship's command center and air traffic control functions, making it a critical structure for directing both naval and flight deck operations. The Ford-class island sits toward the stern, unlike the more central placement seen on older American carriers that Trump reportedly wants future ships to resemble. Trump reportedly wants future carriers to look more like American warships from World War II, despite the modern configuration being designed for operational efficiency. Moving the island farther aft frees additional deck space for aircraft operations, increasing the usable area around the carrier's launch and recovery zones. The aft island gives crews more room around aircraft catapults, helping personnel move, prepare and position aircraft with fewer space constraints. This layout reduces the time needed to position aircraft for launch, allowing the carrier to generate sorties more quickly during sustained combat operations. The design improves flight deck operational efficiency, giving crews a more flexible working area for managing aircraft, equipment and launch preparations. An aft island reduces turbulence around the aircraft landing area, creating clearer and more stable airflow as fixed-wing aircraft make their final approach. It also helps improve safety as aircraft approach the carrier, reducing hazardous airflow conditions during one of the most demanding stages of naval flight operations. The same island relocation idea was pitched and studied during Trump's first term in the Oval Office, but it was not adopted for the Ford-class program. The previous review found that such a redesign could cause major program disruptions, with officials warning that relocating the island could cost billions and create significant delays. On August 13th, Trump also ordered the Navy to plan a return to conventional steam catapults for future American aircraft carriers. The order would replace electromagnetic launch systems on future U.S. carriers, reversing a major technology shift introduced with the Ford-class design. Trump's memo favored proven, reliable, and affordable technologies and ship designs, framing the proposed change as a push for greater dependability. Returning to steam catapults could also cost billions of dollars and deepen shipbuilding delays, because the system would require extensive engineering changes to future carriers. Notably, USS Gerald R. Ford, the lead ship of the new carrier class, took 17 years to complete from construction start to its operational deployment. Trump has repeatedly shown a personal interest in the look and design of U.S. Navy warships, extending beyond aircraft carriers to his broader fleet vision. In 2025, Trump unveiled a new Trump-class battleship concept for his proposed Golden Fleet, promising heavily armed nuclear-powered surface combatants. The Ford-class review comes as the U.S. Navy continues expanding its overall capabilities, even as it confronts cost pressures, industrial limits and delays across shipbuilding.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.